What's up, everybody? So I have an incredible story and an incredible card that I'm going to show you guys later on. A 1933 Goudey Ruth that is maybe the most epic piece of my collection now. And I want to talk to you guys about the story. And wow, what a collection I witnessed. I've had a couple of days to process it. I felt like I needed a couple of days to process what just happened, and then I would do a video. So let me tell you guys from my perspective what happened. So it was, I think, Monday, and I get a text from my buddy Mike, baseball collector, and he texts me. He's like, call me. Like one of those cryptic things, like you better call me now. So I call Mike, and he's like, "You want to hear a crazy story? I just purchased $120,000 baseball card collection," and so I'm like, "Wow, that sounds kind of crazy." And so he starts sending me pictures of this collection, and when I say that my jaw dropped, I mean it was the most incredible collection just from the pictures he was sending me. I mean, multiple Goudey Babe Ruths, multiple Goudey Lou Gehrig cards, T206 cards, like just an endless supply of 33 Goudey, a DeLong Gehrig, 60s and 70s vintage. And I'll put pictures on the screen so you guys can see some of the pictures that he sent me. And he goes, "I'm going from Texas to Philly on Tuesday to pick up this collection. Why don't you go meet me?" And I was like, "Mike, it's Tuesday. I gotta work on Tuesday. I can't just, I don't know. This is what I always ask him. Like, I don't know how you don't work, or maybe you do. I don't know how you do it, but I gotta work on Tuesday." And but after I saw the collection, I was like, okay, I'll take a half day on Tuesday. So I did a half day on Tuesday, and I drove from New Jersey to Philly, which is a 2-hour drive, booked myself a hotel in the middle of nowhere, and drove to John Keating's house, which John I've never talked to, but he was an incredibly gracious host, and went down to John's basement with Mike. And it was this incredible, I mean, my basement's boring as hell, as you can see, but his basement was just wall to wall. I mean, I should have took some pictures. I don't even know if that would have been weird if I just taking pictures of his basement. But it's just wall to wall, just vintage awesomeness, just 60s, 70s, that seemed to be the focus of his vintage collection. It was just incredible. And I'm just awestruck by this basement. And he's got like this amazing setup too for like doing videos and taking pictures of his cards, which I need to look into, which I don't do a great job of. And the other cool thing so Mike went 2/3 into this collection. 1/3 was Chris Sewell, who is, for those of you that don't know, YouTube. He's on YouTube, baseball card collector, investor, dealer, in that order. He has 70,000 subscribers or something like that, and worth every subscriber. He's got some incredible stories of just, being a collector, investor, dealer. If you're not subscribed already, I don't know what you're doing. Check out his videos. And the cool thing about that for me is, like, I've been now watching him for years. And in a way, it's like meeting a celebrity, because I've never spoken to him. I've never even texted him. I've never messaged him. But I've been watching his videos for years and learning a lot from what he's doing. And it was really cool just meeting him for the first time. And it was like meeting a celebrity. And then sure enough, Mike and John went and got some whiskey for us to celebrate. And I had an opportunity, like 30 minutes with Chris, to just learn from him. It was an opportunity for me to sit down and I was firing off questions. I'm like, what about this? What about this? What about this? I was telling him my story, and it was really a great opportunity for me. And I'm supposed to be looking through the collection because, but I used it as my opportunity to talk to Chris, because when I retire one day, I'd love to do what he's doing, right? Just he spends his career is, he doesn't have like, a real job. He buys and sells baseball cards, which to me is just, that's a hot, I mean, what a great way to make a living. So he does that for full time, and it's incredible. So I was asking him questions like, how do you do it? What are your strategies? It was awesome. So did that for about a half hour, and then John and Mike came back. Now, I had looked at the Ruths, and it was funny because by the way, there were multiple Goudey Ruths, and I knew I wanted a Goudey Ruth. I already had the number 144, my favorite Ruth, and but I didn't have the green. There's the green, there's the yellow, and the red. And so, of course, in this collection was all three and multiple versions. Now, Vince, New York Yanks fan 7, it's funny because he messaged me and he goes, I would have gone for the yellow because I took a picture of the card that I was interested in. And now he had two yellows in this collection. One of them was a 4.5 that went to Chris. That was way out of my, there's no way I would have been able to afford it. So that was off the table. The second yellow Ruth was a 2.5 Ruth, yellow Ruth. And now the reason why you go for the yellow is because it is the most rare of the Goudeys. Now, one of the biggest benefits of me visiting this collection in person was that I got to see the cards in person. Now, I don't even know if you'll be able to tell from the pictures, but there's a lot of issues for me with the yellow 2.5. There's a lot of creases in the card. It just didn't meet my standards. And the great thing about being able to see this collection in person is I don't know if I would have been able to see those creases and those flaws in the card if I hadn't seen the cards in person. However, I saw the green, and I immediately fell in love with this card, and I will flip the camera around in a little bit and show you guys this card and why I fell in love with this card. But I was just like, this is an absolute beauty. And to me, flawless, basically flawless. And to be having the opportunity to add that to my collection. Now, of course, part of the issue was that I had just bought a 52 Willie Mays that I spent a fortune on, which is, incredible in its own right. And so I was a little strapped for cash. But again, part of the beauty of doing this with Mike is I was able to work a deal where it was like an IOU. So I'll pay him, I've already paid a big portion of it, but the rest of it, he's going to let me pay over the next couple of months. Which I really appreciate, Mike. If you're watching this, thank you for letting me do that. And I promise you I will pay. But I worked a deal with Mike, and a very, very, very fair deal. He hooked me up and was able to walk home with a 33 Goudey, beautiful Babe Ruth, and a couple other cards just for the memory of it all. And we did a live stream, which I highly recommend you guys check out if you haven't already. There's a live stream if you go to Baseball Collector. We did about an hour live stream, the four of us, and we're all just sipping on whiskey, just loving life. It was a lot of fun. And Mike, John, and Chris, I will say, you guys walked away with an incredible, you made the right decision. I will say you guys made an incredible decision. I think John did very well. I think, he helped broker the deal and got some amazing cards out of it. And like I said, Chris got 1/3, Mike got 2/3, and I think they did very well for themselves. And they're going to have a blast just going through that collection and selling it off. So anyway, I'm going to flip the camera around and show you guys some of the cards that I came home with. Like I said, super happy about this experience. And more than anything, the experience was incredible with three other incredible collectors. So here we go. Here are the cards that I walked away with. All right, guys, so here is the collection. Before I get into that, so I was on my way down and, of course, had to stop at Target on the way down. and picked up a box of Don Russ and landed these 2 cards, including a Wembanyama rookie. So just quickly figured I'd show that part of the experience. But here are the cards that I walked away with. I walked away with a couple of cards. Now, guys, when I say there was just thousands of these types of cards in the collection, just stars, star after star in fantastic condition. This is a 68 Joe Torre stand-up. I think there were like multiple versions of this one. I decided to just pick one for my collection. This is the first time I've ever owned a stand-up card. So cool. How about this? A 68 game card. This is the Mickey Mantle. And I picked up this one as well as the Roberto Clemente. And like I said, guys, I think there were multiple Roberto Clementes, Willie Mays, so many of these game cards. But this is just an example of like, what I was seeing. Just boom, 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 like thousands of these types of cards. And I just grabbed a couple just to take home for my own experience. Then I can't remember if this is 68 or 69. There's like 68, 69 Fleer, but never seen these cards before. Yeah, 68 Fleer of the 32 World Series. So 1968 Fleer. Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, 1932 series. Gehrig greets Ruth after cold shot. Thought that card was awesome, especially picking up a Ruth. I figured I'd come home with a Fleer Ruth. And then check this out, another card from that set, 68 Fleer, Yanks versus Pirates from the 1960 World Series. And I thought this was cool. Like, look at 16-3, 10-0, 12-0. So the Yankees lost in Game 7, but look at that. The games that they won, they blew the Pirates out. And then, of course, Mazeroski with the home run to beat the Yankees for the Pirates. John Keating was a funny guy. At one point, like, so he was big into like the football, like the late 60s football. And he goes, "Here, have this card, Dick Shiner." And I was like, "Oh, thank you." And it didn't even occur to me that his name was Dick Shiner until like it took me a minute or two to register. And so this was hilarious. And at one point I was like, oh, "Thanks for the Dick Schlong." I couldn't remember the name. And they started laughing at me because they're like, "Dick Schlong." They're like Dick Shiner. But this is just look at this card. It's like in beautiful condition. And there were like, when I say there were thousands of these types of cards, it was just incredible. Imagine having like 1,000, late 60s football cards in like fantastic condition that, I told Mike and John and Chris, I was like, I would send every single one of these cards off to PSA. This was a card I'd never seen before, like a decal. I forget what they were calling it, but Mickey is a 69 Mickey Mantle decal. I thought that was awesome, so I brought that home. It's like, these are cards that in a lot of cases, I'm just bringing them home because I've never seen them before. They're so unique. So thought that was awesome. I decided to grab this because John Keating, it was at his place, and this is Tom Keating. John at one point threw this over the table, and I was like, I'm grabbing it. So Tom Keating, just again for the memory of this experience. Then the last card before the Ruth, Mike and Chris let me buy off them this Thurman Munson. They had like 4 or 5 Thurman Munson rookies, and I'm like, can I have one? Can I have a Thurman Munson rookie? And they're like, you don't have a Thurman Munson rookie? I was like, no, I don't have a Thurman Munson rookie. So they let me buy off of them a Thurman Munson. And the funny thing is, I was like, give me the worst looking Thurman. I will take the worst looking Thurman Munson. This was the one that they thought was the worst looking. Just to give you a sense for how awesome this collection is. So anyway, so Thurman Munson. And then here's the big card, guys. This is what collecting's all about to me. Look at this. Oh my goodness. 1933 Goudey, Babe Ruth, the green background. You know what? I don't even know if this video will do it justice, but I think what's amazing about this card, there's no creases in this card. It is perfect. You know, clearly a little off center, but I think that actually adds for some reason to the awesomeness of this card. I don't know why. I actually kind of like that it's a touch off. But the color, look at the colors on this card. Look at Babe Ruth's face in this. It's immaculate. Everything you could read perfectly. Like I said, no creases in the card. And only got a 4, which I love. Like, you know, if it was a 5, I probably wouldn't have been able to buy it. And then you can see here, look at just what they wrote here. One of the keenest students of baseball, New York Yankees home run star. He is also one of the hardest men to pitch to in the game. Boxmen say, boxmen, who uses that word? Boxmen say you can fool him on a certain ball once, but the next time he gets it, he is apt to hit it out of the park. So anyway, just look at that. It's just incredible. And so there is, and I'll just grab that. Here's my other 33 Goudey. So those are the 2 that I have. Will one day love to add the red and the yellow, but they'll have to wait. And you can see here, I grabbed the other Ruth cards that are in my collection, the Sinella that I grabbed last year, the Leaf Ruth that I grabbed a couple of years ago. But here are the 2 33 Goudeys that are now in my collection. So anyway, guys, that is it. Hopefully you enjoyed this story. And if you haven't checked out Baseball Collector, you know, he explains how he ended up with the collection and, you know, the live stream. If you guys want to see it with Chris, John, and Mike and I highly recommend those videos as well. But this is my story. This is my experience and how I ended up with a Goudey and how I ended up broke. I'm broke. And I'm very happily broke. I will be, not be, you know, I have a box of Bowman that I bought before this, that, you know, off of Topps' website, that I said I wasn't going to do, but I did it anyway. I have, you know, I'm going to continue to do the Rookie Explosion box, but I'm definitely out of the market of buying anything else until the National, at least the National. And yeah, but I'm going to be happy, you know, with a card that looks like this. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments in the comment section. And thanks guys for watching. And I will talk to you later.